Morning, everybody. Good morning to you all. Uh, okay. No, no, keep it. Hold on, everybody. What up, Fran? Fran knows how my morning's been. I had coaching with Fran this morning at 9:15, and I was like, Fran, and poor Fran's sick, and she's just like, I was just like, Fran. She's like, I'm sick. I'm not too sure what we need to, what to talk about, to coach about, and how she's feeling. I said, well, why don't we do this then? Why don't I just tell you the shit show that I got going on this morning, and it'll make you feel so much better on what you got going on. I'm like, it's been a complete disaster, anywhere from being sued this morning that I had to deal with to oh, hi, Ezra. Hi, guys. Look at how cute you guys all are over there. What's going on? Look at that beautiful family. So, yeah, so I gotta first start off. I had to deal with Brielle because she's got soccer, and then when Justine was saying this morning, like family, balancing things, legalities. Listen, all you do this business long enough, somebody's gonna sue you. And when I told you a plan, it's very, very important to understand. In Fran, we're gonna kind of like Fran was working with me because she's like, well, what are you gonna talk about? I said, I don't know. Well, I'm sure somebody's got a problem that we can solve. Money exchanges hands when problems are solved. And I'm sure there's going to be some problems that I can help solve today. And then Fran and I end up having like this huge talk. She probably took more notes today on everything else and what I was sharing with her. And sometimes those are really, really good conversations. And we're going to see how that takes place today. But I have a plan when people say they want to sue me. My question is to you: do you have a plan when somebody calls you and they're not happy with your services and they want to sue you? Do you have a plan? Do you know your E&O insurance when they say you want to get that they're going to sue you? Christian has this amazing app that he's working on, and it's completed. And I said to him, I said, well, what happens if somebody says to you, Christian, that I want my whole firm to have it and I have 300 people? What are you going to charge me? Do you have a plan for that? Do you have a plan that you go into your app, Christian, and somebody goes and puts their bank account, says something in there, and somebody hacks it and they wipe themselves clean, and it's because of your app and they want to sue you for it? Do you have a plan for that? Plans all are sometimes just thinking out loud. Like you got to go through it. And then when you go through it, did you grow through it? So for those of you, for attorney purposes, what is my plan? My plan is I act calm, don't be defensive. And you say, that sounds great. I understand you're emotional, you're not excited. But what I've learned, it's best for your attorney to talk to my attorney. What is your attorney's name so that way my attorney can contact them? I'm going to say it again because they're not ready to hear what I have to say, and they don't have an attorney, and now they're trying to fumble through whatever their conversation is. So I say to them, I completely understand. It's not my first time being sued. What is your attorney's name so my attorney can contact your attorney, because that's the best way to solve this? If you don't have an attorney, just make up your real estate attorney. Just make up a name at the time period, but you should have a plan on an attorney so you can say, like my buddy Solomon, he knows that, like, listen, if somebody says something to you, just know, like, I'm not, you're a real estate attorney. You're not a defense attorney. So I get it, but I just want to have an attorney out there. But he also likes that type of stuff. So he's fine with it. But have a plan. Have a plan when somebody says, I'm going to sue you. Because you do this business long enough, somebody's going to say that to you, and you don't want to get defensive. You don't want to get over emotional, because something like that, could that make your day go sideways? can you suddenly be like, oh shit, the rest of my day, like, oh my God, I gotta find an attorney. I gotta make sure. I gotta call my mom. I just got sued. Da da da. It can. And so you got to be able to stay the course. Like I told Fran, I said, not a problem at all. I get, yep, here you go with your attorney. Like, let me know. She ended up hanging up the phone on me. I jumped right into Fran's conversation. When I got to Fran's conversation, the person that was supposed to speak today at 10 o'clock all sends me a text message, and we had a miscommunication in one of our processes that he says, I thought I told your VA that I'm going to be out of town. Unfortunately, I had to take a last minute trip to Utah to go to this tech thing. So I'm like, I can't do it at 10 o'clock today. So I was just like, wonderful. It sounds great. I'm 3 for 3 and it's not even 9:30 yet. And then I quickly called Wendy to check in on her. Mooresville has no school because they canceled school up there. And then she says to me, we got to talk. We have to talk tonight. I'm like, let's go. Today's a good day to have a talk. So if you got to talk, you want it, you got something that you got for me all. You know, it's funny. Wendy and I end up laughing the whole time because I was telling her, I was like, listen, I'm sure we'll figure it out. I was the one that even called her out. I'm like, what's wrong? Something's wrong with me. I can just sense it. We just need to talk tonight. I said, all right, babe, we'll talk tonight. Guys, don't run from problems. Don't run from challenges. Just embrace them, absorb them. You're good. How many of you put a 5 in the chat? How many of you have had a bad day? Put a 5 in the chat if you've had a bad day. Put a 5 in the chat if you had a good day. Put a 5 in the chat if you had if a bad day, good day. How many of you put a 5 in the chat? You've had a bad day to start, ended up good. How many of you had a bad day and you kept running the bad day throughout the rest of the day and you never ended it good? Because that's how most people are. It starts bad, then we go off the rails, then we go sideways. Woe is me. We go to victimhood. It's going to be okay. But it's a plan, it's pausing, it's practicing, going through that. So, where's everybody? I see people, I see y'all, but I don't see everybody. Everybody's hiding behind their video camera today. I should call you out and try to get on video if you can be on. There's Jesse. No need to hide. If you got to go to the bathroom, you go to the bathroom. It's going to be okay. You can come back. I've talked to chairs before. You know, it's going to be all right. We're going to work through it. So, this sessional, Fran asked me a couple things. I wrote some notes down. I said, Fran, what do you think real estate agents? I mean, like I told you, this is going to be an open session, so you can pick my brain and everything. I don't want me on the camera. I'm at the doctor's. All right, Latrice, that's a good one. That one's accepted. That one's acceptable. So the things that Fran said to me, she goes, Brock, it seems like everybody's a little stagnant a little bit. Buyers are still kind of in reserve. That was one of the topics she said. She said to me, inventory. She's like, you know what? If you own the market share in sales and it's supposed to open a buyer's market, it'd be really good to know how to get more inventory. That was one of the things. We talked about listing packets. Like, okay, well, if you do get more appointments and you do go to listing, you get listing presentations. What does your presentation sound like? What does your listing packet sound like? And then Fran and I went into a whole nother conversation because she tells me she has 2 listing presentations, people she knows and people she doesn't know. I was like, I've never heard of that one before. I said, interesting. We've had artificial intelligence with residential property reports, RPRs. That's something Fran teaches, and using AI. So we've had that conversation. So I'm going to open it up all. I'm going to go to the chats. Maybe somebody already put something in the chat. I need more practice on listing appointment. I want you to put in the chat. Tell me tell me something that you want to talk about. There's 23 of us in here. Oh, Paul just came. So there's 24. So I want somebody put in, there's 24 and we got Grace. Grace, you can even put in a problem too. Okay. There's no note takers. I got 1 note taker. So fireflies, those are real people, I've learned. So I should see 22 or 23 problems, objections, or something you want me to talk about. And that will probably get us through pretty much majority of this entire mindset or the coaching program. So I want, Latrice already has hers, so Latrice is good. Rosario, what does buyers unreserved mean? Okay, of course, Rosario would ask me a question I don't know. All right, good. Who else? Let's get some more in here so I can find a question I can answer. We'll come back to yours, Rosario, at the very end. Hopefully there's not enough time to answer that one, but we will. Who else? There's 20 some of you on here. I could play the Jeopardy music, John, if I knew how to do that right now. I need to practice my listing presentation objections. How do you handle a novation listing? Listing seems to be the common theme right now. Okay, keep going. What else? Martella, Galena, Clarino. I hope I'm saying these names right. Gustavo. Let's see who else. I like to practice objections as well. Do you always send something to seller prior to going to the property? Man, okay, now we're getting some specific details. This is good stuff. Just need a couple more so I don't have to answer Rosario's question. I'll make sure. That one I don't know. Who else? Practice objections. What's your favorite way to find sellers? Shortening the listing consult 2 hours. God bless you. Holy smokes. You better have dinner there. You probably mine are 45 minutes. I could yep, I can show you how to do that. I do 45. So I always have 45 minutes. I take a picture of it and I send it to my team because they don't believe me that I could do it in 45 minutes. So so that let's see, D put it in there. Jackie, where's yours, Jackie? How do I get buyers to have confidence to buy? How do I handle objections for buyers who do not know to commit? Okay. What you action plan for fine listings? Okay. Still looking for Jackie's. She's now typing. She wasn't paying attention. She's like, oh shit, now I got to type. I got to do this. Paul, where's yours, Paul? Can you summarize your 45-minute listing presentation? Who else? We good? Do I need a listing boot camp? Need a listing boot camp from lead gen to close. Okay, that's a good one. We can put that into play. All right. I got enough questions now. Sydney, did Sydney put hers in here? Sydney's in Oregon. She still might be waking up at 7:15 in the morning. She's probably brushing her teeth. No, she's an early bird though. I'm making sure everybody put something in here. Well, Paul still didn't. Okay. I'm going to go through these pretty quickly. I will say the question and then I will give the solution. My favorite line is money exchanges hands when problems are solved. These are problems. I'm going to give you solutions. I pretty much can get through majority of them, except for Rosario's. And then what I'll do is then we can do a little bit of a deeper dive. We'll do this for about 30 minutes, and then we'll save time for a Q&A. Good? And if you do have more questions throughout this period, please feel free to put it in the chat. And because some of it I can't elaborate immensely, and we could set up another time and we can go through some more on that and we could do a deeper dive.
Brock, are you recording this?
I am recording it. Yes, it is being recorded. Yes, because you have to jump at 10:30. Appreciate you being on here for the time period you can. So I will make sure I will answer your question. These are really kind of like one answer questions, all one sentence, but I'll elaborate a little bit so that way you guys can hear the perspective, and then we'll do a deeper dive. So, all right, let me start from the top and going over and all right, Rosario, you will do yours. What does buyers unreserved mean? Okay. I could you just really quickly elaborate what that means? Like what do you mean by that?
So when I heard you ask the question, mention that one of the notes that the guy gave you was that one. So I'm just asking, what does it mean to have them in reserve, like buyers?
Like buyers in your pipeline?
Yes.
I assume so yeah. So basically, all right, see what I did is I asked deeper questions so I can get an understanding, which is part of my book, Turning Scripts into Conversations. Fran and I were doing a deep dive on that. It's just a formula. So write the formula down because it works on the webinars. It works in listings. It works on kids. I just did it with Brielle. It is, you want to validate. So I validated, this is your question that you're asking me, Rosario. So you validate it. And then you check for clarity through questions. And I'm going to do that until I have clarity and understand her question. Then I'm going to present, one is a solution, and then the second is a plan. Okay. So in this case here, it's going to be a solution. So Rosario, I wanted to ask her, what does it mean? Okay. You wanted to know what it's in the reserve. Basically, it's in your pipeline. Okay. We have over 500 buyers in our pipeline, and that is why I'm getting ready to hire 2 buyer agent specialists with me. And these 2 buyer specialists are going to be coached and trained through me. And they're going to be able to negotiate and talk the way that I talk and be able to figure out how to get these buyers from point A to point B. How do I get them to buy a house? What is their problem to get them off? So we have a lot of reserve right now is because buyers haven't done it for 2 reasons. Who knows the 2 reasons? For time purposes, one's affordability and one's interest rates. Those are the 2 problems that we have. One of the problems are being solved because the interest rates are starting to go down. The second one is not solved because the affordability is still too high, which puts buyers in a holding pattern. And the reason why buyers in the holding pattern, and answering some of your questions that you guys got here on how do you get people to move, is you got to give them confidence. So the reason why sometimes they're not moving is because you don't know the answer to solve their problem. And it's a confidence issue. Okay. And so you want to be able to come with authority. How do you come with authority? Is you study and you have knowledge. So you should be spending, write this down, 30 minutes a day studying your knack, your area, your profession. 30 minutes a day. If Jackie's on here, she can put the link for BAMX. I put it on my, Grace, can you also put my mindset, the Brock Zevan's coaching private page? We have 1,200 people on this page. When I first started this page, I was excited when I had 100 people. Never in my right mind would have thought I'd had 1,200 people join my private page. But this private page, I put in the link when what I'm watching. I do it at 9:30. I put it in the page. And so you can watch that. So you need to be able to learn what that's all about. So buyer reserve, Rosario, is basically we have a bunch of people in our pipeline, bunch of people who say they want to buy, thinking about buying, looking at homes, but haven't made the decision yet because of uncertainty, lack of knowledge, interest rates too high, and affordability. Okay. All right. Next question that I got on here is, I need to practice my listing presentation and objections. Well, in order to practice, D, you got to be able to, I would ask you, how many times are you practicing a day? Is it in your calendar? Who's on your practice schedule? I tell people all the time, I can tell you 2 things about yourselves in like less than 10 minutes. You send me over your bank statements and you send me over your calendar, and I can tell you what type of person you are. If practicing is not in there, Fran, where's Fran? Fran wants to know about role play. Fran, this is a perfect opportunity. I told you to put yourself out there. Ask anybody on this group right here. Put it in the chat, Fran. Who wants to role play with Fran? And put your cell phone number in there, Fran. I know in here specifically, I don't care what program, what you sell, what you do. Sales is a sales language. That's why I can help lenders, insurance agents, breweries, casket sales, real estate agents. It's just a language. So you got to practice it, D, in order to handle the objections on your listing. The common objection is commission. Practice that 5 times a week, 20 times a month, and I guarantee you the next 30 days you're going to be good. So is it in your calendar? Is it in your schedule on who you're practicing with? And that's why I said, let's get people's phone numbers and let's get people engaging to say, let me practice that presentation. So first and foremost, it is, what does your plan look like? What does your practice schedule look like, D, on how you're doing that and handling your listing? Are you practicing your presentation? Okay. Some of you are doing it for 2 hours. God bless you. We're going to work on that. Okay. And the reason why it's 2 hours is because you didn't send anything prior to it. So you got to share everything and anything to them during that time period. So any appointment that you go to, how many of you have had surgery before? Raise your hand, put a 5 in the chat. Have you had surgery before? Okay. I'm pretty sure that nobody's gone into the day that you were supposed to have surgery or whatever it is. I don't know. Lower hand. All right. You just didn't walk to the surgical table. You've probably met with nurses. You met the anesthesiologist. You've probably had to give your name and your date of birth 17 times before you walked in there. You probably had somebody with an insurance conversation. They probably told you who the nurse was going to be. They probably told you the procedure. They probably told you how long you're going to be there. They probably told you what you need to do before you go into it. Take your makeup off. Wash your hands. They probably told you a pill that you're supposed to take. Am I talking to somebody right now that it was all set up? And that's practice. Okay, so first and foremost is who you practicing with and is it on your calendar? All right, I'm going to go to Tanya's because she has to leave at 10:30. I'm going to come back. Well, how ironic is that? Her question was how do you her consultation takes 2 hours. And it's just because you're not doing your pre-qual, okay? How many of you have my pre-qual listing presentation? If you don't have it, put pre-qual into the chat. And in Grace, if you can ask Jay, we have a link for it. And let's get them the pre-qual. My pre-qual is 11 questions. In the 11 questions I ask them, I go into a system, a cadence. So I ask question number 1, number 2, number 7, and then I go back to number 5. I know this inside out and backwards because every listing that I go on gets a pre-qual, and that's me really doing my listing presentation. So when I go there, Tanya, I already know all their objections because I've already asked them ahead of time. They just didn't realize it yet. And so I go right into their problems and start solving their problems. Do I really need to look at their house? Not really. I don't really need to. There's enough data out there for me to have a general idea what the price of their home is. I look at their house just so that way I entertain them. It's kind of like when I go to the waiter, when I say the waiter or waitress, and I say to them, here's my meal. How many of you been to a waiter or waitress and you had like 6 people and they're just like, uh-huh. They're not writing it down. They're just like, yep, got it. Yep, not a problem. Okay. You're like, our meal's going to be screwed up. There's no way they got it. It's going to be effed up. I'm going to get like a spaghetti and I ask for a hamburger. So that's my way of going through there. And I take my piece of paper and I got it here for anybody who saw me. And I'm just like writing down notes and I'm just going through it. I'm just like, hey, let me double check on this. And that's my way of being the waiter or waitress at the time period to make sure that I have everything. I think Christian, you're off mute, bud. Unless you got something to say. Maybe he's got something. Maybe he's got something. I don't know.
No, sorry. That was an accident.
No, you're good, man. So great question, but it's in the pregame. It is doing the prequal and knowing the question that you're asking me beforehand. My number one question that I asked beforehand, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, I'm really excited to see you tomorrow at 2:00. I just have a couple questions I'm going to ask you. It's not going to take more than 10 minutes. Are you okay now? Oh, you are? Great. Listen, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, if everything makes sense to you and you feel absolutely confident and comfortable with what I present to you today, are you willing to hire me today or when I see you? That is the number one question that I ask him. And that is the biggest thing that's between me and them signing the paperwork that day. But now I have a whole day to solve their problem. Okay, that sounds great. So the commission is very important to you. Is there anything else? Oh, okay. You got to fix your plumbing. Okay, great. Is there anything else? Awesome. That sounds great. So Mr. and Mrs. Seller, those are the first 3 things that we will talk about as soon as I get there. While I have you on the phone, are you thinking about interviewing any other agents? Where do I fall in your interview process? These are just questions I ask to set myself up to know when I got to do my presentation, because if I have a high S&C, there's no way I want to go to the presentation first. I need to get myself on the back end because those people are loyal. Their decision-making process takes frickin' forever. So I got to get at the end of the train. That's when I blame it on my kids. Oh my gosh, I completely forgot we were supposed to be at 2. When's the last person's coming? Oh, they're coming at 5. My daughter had soccer. Oh, I had no idea. How about I just come at 6:30? Would that be okay? I position myself to come at the end so then I can lay it into them hard with the hard close. Okay. Grace, that is good. Thank you for putting that out there. So Grace just sent out to you my entire listing packet. You guys can have it. It's the edited version. So we just put it in there. And then I think that Google Drive might be I'm clicking on it because I don't know what that Google Drive is. That is my black belt of personalities. Okay, she did that. Well, you guys got bonus material because that's not what I was thinking about, but it works out well. You get my whole black belt of personalities PDF. Oh no, that is right. Okay, she did send it. So there it is. That second link. So the first link is my listing presentation, 32 pages. And then the second link are literally the specific of my questions. How many of you would like me to do a power players of reviewing that at some point? Put a 5 in the chat. How many of you would like me to really go in depth with you? Because I probably just blew your mind. Like I had no idea even to position myself at a different time period to come out to the listing presentation. I had no idea that that even works. Okay, so several of you put 5s. Okay, we will, it's huge all. That's how I convert. That's how I get conversion at 90% is all about when I go to the listing. Many of us are just excited. Damn, I got the listing presentation, right? We're going to think higher. We're going to think better. Just like Rosario, I had to, push Rosario a little bit. Rosario, that's great that you're talking to a lot of people, but how much money are you making? That sounds wonderful. That's great. You got Facebook friends, you got people engaging. How much money you make? Right? We turn that around. How many deals have you now got? How many business, how much money did you, not how much money did you make, but how many money making activities have you done now? What are you at, 5 or 6? What are you at, Rosario? Just tell everybody real quick. How many numbers?
5.
5. Okay. She was just telling me how many people she was talking. Now I want to know how many people you're talking to and pulling out their credit card and making money. Tanya, good. Thank you so much for being on here. All right. Let me go back. So a lot of you on the pre-qual, we gave you the pre-qual. All right. Let me go back to my questions. All right. How do I handle novation listings? That is a whole nother conversation in itself, but how do I handle novation listings? Novation listings are broken up into 3 parts. Novations are part of wholesale. Just make notes all just so you can come back to this and you can pepper me because this is a lot. I do over 115 of these a year. I break this down and this year I'm making $150,000 just on novations alone, and I do them all over the country. I'm actually getting ready to do a video on these type of things. Basically, novation comes into 3 parts. I either going to pay cash, I'm either going to do an equity plus program, or I'm going to do a traditional sale program. People want options. I learned how to do this at a very high level. None of these things are through my own money. So it does not take my own money coming out of my own pocket. I purchase properties. I just was getting ready to purchase one for $750,000 in Nashville, and I was getting ready to list it for $849,000. This was not my money. I've learned how to do it at a very high level in a very unique way. So to answer your question, John, at a very 10,000 foot, and you and I can do another overview on that. If anybody else that wants to learn, study novations, type in novations in the chat, put novations in the chat. That way I can add you to our invite. But basically, John, how do I handle it is I come from helping them. Just like FSBOs and expires, I come from a need. They usually have a financial problem. It's not distressed properties as much as one might think. It's a big financial problem is what they have. Or it's an estate and they don't know what to do with it. They have a pain point. Just like it is in any type of listings, my job is to find their pain and to be able to solve their problem. Okay. So the 3 things, John, that I would really walk away with is you want to understand a cash offer, what it looks like, 40% off market value, an equity plus program, which is typically anywhere from 10 to 14% off of market value. And then we have the traditional sale, which is 7% off of market value. Those are the 3 key indicators. And then you ask them what's more important to them, time or money. And then you puzzle piece one of those 3 plans into them as a strategy to be able to solve their problem. Like I said, that's a 10,000 foot overview, but hopefully it looks like you were taking some notes there that I was able to at least add a little bit of insight for you on that. And it looks like, John, you're not the only one that wants to know about novation. So we will puzzle piece something into play on that. All right, let me scroll back up. Damn, you guys got a lot of, we could spend a whole day here, couldn't we? All right, I like to practice objections as well. Jesse, I'm going to go back to the same thing. Taking action all is the biggest ingredient, okay? How did I, Fran says, I want to speak the way you speak and articulate the way you articulate and the flow that you want to have. And several of you have indicated like, man, you just sound like it's because I practice. I've gotten really good at it. Justine I'm helping her in her strategy. She became an elite agent. I said, that's great. You did an elite agent at the 363rd day of the year because you have 365 days to do it. I became an elite agent twice in 9 months. Do you want to become that good? Then we got to work on your time blocking. We got to work on your scheduling. Okay? Because when you become an elite agent, you get $55,000 that go into your stock. Now it goes into my reserve that helps me out with, oh, I said reserve again, Rosario. Apologize. That just means that I just put it into my stock. But you do that because you got to operate at a high level. Your day is operated at a high level. No matter how much I love you all, but at 10:45, between 10:45 and 10:50, I got to go. No matter how great the conversation is, no matter how many questions I'm answering, is your day run like that? Are you around mentors? Are you around people that are coaching you? They expedite my process and how I got to where I am. I was broke as a joke 2 months ago. Not 2 months ago. Sorry. 2 years ago. Some of you know my story. Carrying a lot of debt. Several of you are carrying debt with you. How do you get out of it? Okay. And it's just having different strategies. So to answer you, Jesse, and for those on here, go through the people who put their phone numbers. Dee's got her phone number in here. Latrice got her phone number in here. Fran does. Sarah does. Jesse does. Okay. So you've got these people's phone numbers. For those of you that are coming on late and you want to role play, you've got quality people on here. Role play with them. Get in here, have conversations. John, I'd be saying like, hey, Brock talked to me about 3 plans. Can I role play a couple things and just tell me that you want me to, that you thought I wanted a cash offer? Let me try to explain these things. That's how you get better at it, is you got to practice. Guys, if I'm going to fail at it, I'd rather fail right here in front of other people than when I go live and real, when I really got an opportunity to make money. I don't want to be fumbling then because I don't sound confident, which is somebody's question on here. Put a 5 in the chat if I'm talking to somebody, this is making sense. Put a 5 in the chat if I'm helping you, talking to you, this makes sense to you. Put a 10 in the chat if you don't like anything I'm saying. I'm watching you, Paul, because Paul's always one of those people that puts a 10 in there. Okay. So a lot of you are getting notes from this. Good. All right, let me go back. So Jesse, take action. You got numbers on here. You could do these objections and just talk about it. No more than 15 minutes on these role plays all, okay? It's very short and sweet. 7 minutes each side, moving, shaking. It's not like, so what are you doing for the Super Bowl? No. If you want to talk about the Super Bowl, you do it later that night. All right. Do you always send something to the seller prior to going to the property? Yes, I certainly do. Always send something to them, whether it's a video, a listing packet. I always send the disclosures. I send them over like, hey, this is what I'm going to be talking about. Did you get a chance to review it? Now, in a crazy market, when things are, guys, more and more agents are leaving this market. So what does that mean? Only the best of the best are going to be in there. So when I'm dealing with the $1 million plus and I want to get that deal, this is what I do. So what I do, Tim, is I take my entire listing packet. All right. I don't have time to go through my entire listing packet. If you want to do not only the pre-qual and you want the listing packet, put LP in there for listing packet, and I'll do a coaching presentation on this. Inside of this, inside my listing packet, I go to Uber Concierge. And Uber will deliver my package to their door. Stay with me because this is how I win deals. I take the package, Just like an Uber driver, do you know when the Uber driver is picking you up? Do they give you like a roadmap and tell you when they're coming? And then they'll tell you when they're delivering it. So Fran, here's my secret. I'm letting the cat out of the bag. I set up my prequel, the time period that package is going to be delivered to their house. And I will call them while the package is being delivered. And at the time period that I'm saying to them, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, my concierge has just dropped off a package at your house. I don't know if the doorbell rang or not, or your ring went off, but my package that I just talked about is at your doorstep now. If you can just review that again for me, and we will go over it tomorrow at 6 o'clock when we talk. Guys, I'm telling you, that changes things. That separates you and elevates you when you're doing it. If you want it really bad, do it to every single person. It costs you about $30 to do a concierge. They don't know that it's an Uber driver because you had them on the phone. Does it work every single time? No, but sometimes you'd be like, hey, I just dropped off a package. Okay. Put a 5 in the chat if you like that one. That was one of my favorite ones. Put a 5 in the chat if you like that one. And if you like that one, that was a good one. What do you think, Rosario? That's better than the reserve, right? Okay. So that answers, I hope I'm saying Marthella. I hope I'm saying that your name correct. Practice objections. Gustavo, we answered that. That's taking action. Put your phone number in here. Let's get you role playing with people on here. Guys, a little hidden thing. I'm getting ready to do role plays Tuesdays right after I speak. So if you want to carve out some time, as soon as I get done at 8:45 on Tuesdays, I'm going to dive into role play. So if you want to listen in to me, you literally can hear me. So Tuesdays, 8:45 to 9 o'clock, I'm going to do live role plays for anybody who stays on the show with me, because then I jump into my calls at 9. So that's a little secret. What's your favorite way to find sellers? My favorite way is Arch Agent. Grace, if you could put Arch Agent in there, I'll give you it for free for 30 days. Arch Agent, 30 days. It's expireds. Expireds are going up drastically. It is the number one way that I get my business. It is more than my database. It is more than my past clients. It's just how I do business. When I want now money, I say it to people all the time. When I want now money, I just go to expireds and I just call them. I want to beat Justine because I'm going to get my luxury license, whatever they call that nonsense. I don't even give two you know what's about it. I just want it because I want to beat people. And I told Justine I'm going to beat her. So I want 12 luxury, $1 million plus per month is what my goal is. So I just call them for sale by owners and expires more than $1 million plus. There are 22 of them that hit the market just in June alone. I mean, in February alone. So that's what I work on. When I get more into it, I'll go back to July of last year and I'll just get all the expires that are $1 million plus. There'll probably be over 400 of them. And if I just figured if I can just take 400 of them, even if I operate at 5%, I'll be more than 12. I'll get more than 12. It's just a simple numbers thing. Okay. So that's what I do on how I find sellers. Tanya, I already answers. How do you get buyers to have confidence to buy? So the first question, Sarah, is how do I get confidence for the buyers to buy? Is one, I have confidence in why now is a freaking great time to buy. I have confidence and I exude confidence in that now is the best time to buy. For those of you, go to my Facebook page. I just did a video on this. I just did a video. Go to keepingcurrentmatters.com. I'm talking fast because I only got 5 minutes. Keepingcurrentmatters.com is a blog. I go to it. I found one of the blog trends that talked about why now is the best time to buy. I take the video. I make it really simple. Why? Because my editing team is still overwhelmed with the Nashville and everything else that we're doing. And guess what? That's an excuse. Well, it's not edited. And I'm like, I don't care anymore. I take my phone. I start talking to, I said, hey, how many of you are thinking that the days on the market make a big problem for people to have? You might think that the market is falling apart, that the house, something's wrong with the house. Let me just share with you an article that I found that actually now is the best time because it's a transition month. And let me just show you my days on the market on why, because people really aren't aggressively looking and your dream home could be out there today. Let me show you this article. I turn my camera, I put it on the screen and I start to scroll through the camera. I scroll through the website, the link, I show them the chart. I take it back. I got less than 2 minutes to do this video. So if you want the entire if you want All the homes that are for sale between 50 days and 100 days, DM me and I'll send them to you. Okay. I picked up 3 deals, 3 leads by doing that video. I did yesterday. Wasn't edited at all because I don't care. I don't have time. They don't care either. They just want the end result and they want the 50. So how I do that is through confidence. Here's a link. I use it through knowledge. Here's a page. This is what I saw. If you want the home between 50 days and 100 days, DM me and let's do it. Can you get that in your MLS? Can you get the days on the market, 50 days to 100? Yes or yes? You can do this. Cost me $0, less than 2 minutes. All right. How to handle objections from buyers who do not want to commit. That's very simple. Mr. and Mrs. Buyer, here's the question. I'll write it down. This is how I find out if they commit or if they go in the farmland, meaning I'll deal with you later because I need now money. I need people that are working with me today. Okay. If you want to be an elite agent twice in 9 months, you can't talk to people that are thinking, humming, and whatever. You got to talk to people that really want to do business. So I say, Mr. and Mrs. Buyer, if I find you your dream home today, it makes perfect sense. Every non-negotiable that you want, it gets you the right price, the right monthly payment. Are you willing to make an offer on it today? If they don't tell me anything else besides yes, then they go into like the back end. I'm like, well, that sounds great. Okay. It sounds like you're still a couple weeks behind. Let's get you on our buyer consultation plan and let's get you on the right process. So when the right home comes to you, you're ready to act now. Okay. So that's how I find out whether or not they're willing to commit. Fran, what is your action plan for finding listings? I shared with you already. I use expireds and for sale by owners, and then I categorize them based off of price points and for where I want them to be at, depending on how much money I need to make that month. Okay. The goal is 36,000. So I got to do 400. What I say? I think it was 36,000 a month. So it's a little bit about 1.5 when I calculate expenses and everything else. So I got to do about 1.5 million a month. So I just calculate that. How do I get to 1.5 million? Do I want to do, 15, 100,000, or do I want to do 2 million? Like, what is it? What are you doing? It's just a formula and a cadence. Can you summarize your 45-minute listing presentation? Yes, I certainly can. It's broken up into 3 parts. The first part is the tour. The second part is the meat and potatoes of the numbers. And the third part is marketing. Those are my 3 things. They're done in that order all the time because I'm not going to waste my time on marketing if they don't like my numbers. I do the tour just to entertain people, just to get a sense of really how bad it is. My tour is less than 15 minutes long. I get to the kitchen table, and that's when I dissect the numbers, and I go immediately to the seller net sheet. I don't show them every stupid CMA and everything under the sun because they've already done that. They've been to Zillow, Redfin, Realtor.com. They probably talked to ChatGPT and they already have their number inside their head. I just need to see if the numbers match. Once we have matching numbers, then I can get into my marketing, my game plan, and then I do the hard close. If everything makes sense to you, feel absolutely confident and comfortable with what I said, press sign here and press hard. Okay. How do I keep track of all my leads? Kids keep screaming at me. How do we keep track of all your leads? You got to get a CRM, whether it's Follow Up Boss, Lofty, KV Core. I use Google. I also use Google Tasks. Inside your Google Calendar, there's another button that actually looks like a check mark. You can keep your tasks in there. That's what I do. There's tasks. You can put details and you can put a calendar. And that's how I handle those when I really am aggressive going into it. Need a listing boot camp and lead gen. I think D, we agreed that people want me to do some sort of pre-qual and listing packet. So we will work on that. If you are doing that to make it easier for my team, if you guys don't mind, just put your emails in here. If you could just put your email in here, I think majority of you all want it. For those that watch the recording, you certainly can just put your email in here as well towards the end. We'll just see how long they listen because maybe they don't listen to the whole recording, so they miss out. So for those of you who are still on here, for those of you who know somebody had to leave, just tell them like, get with Brock, put your email in there. He's going to send out stuff. So put your emails in here all on that. Grabbing coffee. See, Sydney, I knew it was early. So you're grabbing coffee. Want to learn your FSBO strategy. FSBO strategy is the same strategy I have for expireds, except I'm not there looking for immediate. I try to find their pain time period. Okay, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, I completely understand you want to sell it on your own. I hope the best for you. Just so I know, when do you think you'd like me to follow up? Most for sale by owners like me to follow up in 21 to 27 days. Is that something you like, or would you like me to call you sooner or later? That is my script to figure out when they want me to call them back. I'm not trying to get the listing right then and there. I'm just trying to be around when they have those type of, when they hit the pain point. Freaking if real estate agents can't sell homes, how do you think people are that have no idea what the hell they're doing? It's just a matter of time. Okay. What are your top 3 lead generation companies? iSpeed to Lead. It's the most expensive, but I use iSpeed to Lead, Arch Agent, and Grizzly Leads. Those are my 3. And Homelight. Tanya had to jump creative ideas to get more listings. You could do mailers with QR codes, expireds, door knocking, for sale by owners, 9-worded emails to your mass database. What I would also do is go into ChatGPT and say, ChatGPT, give me 5 creative ways to sell in Oregon, and think outside the box, please. And also make each one of these not start from least expensive to the most expense. Please create for me 5 ideas. So some ChatGPT ideas. I'm really behind. How do you handle buyers that is very picky budget but wants to spend where it's very different because bought an area? Found out yesterday her brother's an agent won't, and she's qualified, wants hand-picked listings, too busy looking at listings. So that's just basically in a nutshell, Marthella, you gotta understand abundance versus scarcity. Abundance versus scarcity in reference to that. You just got to figure out if that's the right fit for you. If they're not ready, and that's why you say the line that I said, if they are ready to go buy right this moment, I find your dream home. If they're committed, then you got to make some, you got to make some decisions to be like, they're ready to buy today, make sure they're pre-approved and get them out right away. If they're hemming and hawing, they got to see this thing, they want to take a look at this, and they're not too sure, then you just need to have the abundance. Like, hey, when you're ready, I'm here. Until then, you're going to have to look on your own. Feel free to drive around neighborhoods, subdivisions, take a look online. I'll send you a couple things. Here's a ChatGPT prompt you can go and look at. Here you go. Feel free to hap at it. When you're ready, I'm right here. And you just send them all. But that's an abundance for scarcity mindset. All right, Fran, role play. Okay. Been using ChatGPT for role plays. Great. Sir, your page deleted. It was hacked, right? Do you mean that group? Oh, that was a direct message. See, I got hacked. Somebody hacked me. I don't know what that means, Grace, but I think we got out most of the information we need. What are the 5 other websites they use to study the market? Housing Wire, BAMX, Redfin, Realtor.com, Zillow, I just Keeping Current Matters, Resi Club, RESI Club, Resi Club. Those would be the uhaul.com. uhaul.com actually has a migration table now. Just learned that. So uhaul.com. I know John Rue. I was the same way. I was like, U-Haul, but yeah, U-Haul is one too. All right, all. Put a 10 in the chat if you got something out of today. Put a 10 in the chat. It is 10:50. I freaking ran through all those questions as much as I possibly can. If you need me in any possible way, if you want me to coach you, if you want me to help you out, if you want to do anything with me in any type of coaching program, Grace, could you put my contact information in there? So that way, actually, I'll just do it right here. You can personally text me right there as my cell phone number. I ran through that quickly, y'all. Sometimes those are our best coaching sessions, is when I really get to dive into you all. Can you repeat your opening comment for iSpeed Elite Homelight Grizzly? Thank you, Grace, for all that stuff. My YouTube page is there. My Facebook page is there. My Facebook group's Brock Zevan Mindset. That is where you can get a lot of my stuff. You can follow me. You have my phone number. I know I gotta sign off too, Fran. Can you repeat what your opening comment is to for sale by owners? My for sale by owners is I lean into them, but it really, besides their net number, is I understand there's a time period that you have in mind, Mr. and Mrs. For sale by owner. Are you thinking that you might start your interview process if you haven't sold your home? Is this like in 3 weeks, 3 months, or 3 years? What does that look like? So that the concept is, because I know it sounds different than what I said my first time, but basically it's a thermostat script that I use, but I try to find their pain point from when I can interview them again. Is this something that you want me to follow back up with you in 3 weeks, 3 months, 3 years to see if you are looking to sell your property? Because I know most of the time for sale by owners end up interviewing agents, and I just don't want to miss out on my opportunity. I've been doing this for a while. Yeah. I got a lot of 10s. So thank you all so very much. I appreciate you all. Thank you so much for being on here. Guys, I'll be back in 2 weeks. If you know somebody that thinks that they could be like, man, this guy really knows what he's talking about, or man, he's full of it. Why don't you listen in though? It's pretty entertaining. Come back in 2 weeks. I do it every Thursday. Well, every other Thursday at 10 a.m. Guys, I appreciate it. My cell phone number is there. My website's there. My email's there. Feel free to reach out to me. Oh, let me share with you my quick events page. We just built this out. Here is my events so you can see me. I'm traveling to Alabama. I'm traveling to Georgia. I'll be in New York. So if I'm in a local area to you, you can come see me. Make sure you put your email in here. It will be recorded and put on that Facebook page. There is my events page. So everything's down on that calendar. So you can see all the things that I'm doing as well as the leaders and those people that I'm around. So guys, appreciate y'all. God bless you. My voice is done. I got to drink some water. For those of you that I have coaching with later on today, I'm excited to see you all later. Till then, see ya.